Now let's talk about annuities. Some people think they're the greatest thing since sliced bread, and others think it's an evil abomination. So, what are they? They are a tool. And just like any tool, they can be the right one or they can be the wrong one. I wasn't too fond of the idea of them, especially after an insurance salesman came into my mother's house and essentially would not leave until she signed her investments over into the annuity he was selling. She had filled out some mailer, and this guy came as a result. As soon as he left, she called me and said, "I think I've made a huge mistake," and told me about this guy. She said, "I kept telling him I wanted to talk it over with you and Bill, my brother, but he kept responding, 'Well, that's fine, but you really should have taken care of this a long time ago,' and just wouldn't leave. Started talking over the same points again. She finally signed the papers to get him out of the house. My brother was able to get the account frozen so it couldn't be transferred. And when Mom read the information over the phone to me, I was livid. She was drawing money off of her investment account to supplement her Social Security. She needed that money. By moving it into this annuity, the money would be tied up for a minimum of 7 years. She wouldn't be able to withdraw without a sales charge for those 7 years. I was furious and sent a letter to the man stating that unless my mom received the original signed papers in the mail within 7 days of the receipt of this letter, I would file a formal complaint to his home office in Fort Worth, Texas, his office in Ohio, the Ohio Attorney General's office, and the State Insurance Commission. You can bet he sent those papers back. 1. Any high pressure sales tactic sets me off. And 2, it wasn't a good fit for my mom. Now, I told you last week we own annuities. They do have a place in some people's plans. Ours are set up to cover two costs in retirement that most people underestimate: property taxes and health care. Property taxes, you have a decent idea of what they are and that they are likely to go up over time. Healthcare costs are the same. Most people need to plan on a minimum of $2,000 a year for each person. So, for a couple, that's $4,000 a year. If you're healthy, it might be less. If you have a few prescriptions, some health concerns, it could be more. By setting up an annuity with a lifetime income rider, I know we have those costs covered, at least in the beginning of our retirement. As those costs increase, we may have to tap other resources, but for now, I've transferred the risk of making sure I can pay for these items to an insurance company. Now, is the annuity expensive? Well, since I like investments that have a small expense fee, in comparison, it is. However, the stock investment has no guarantee, and I could lose everything tomorrow. The annuity is a contract that the insurance company agrees to provide me with a set income for life. If I pass and there is money still in the contract, it goes to my beneficiaries. If I live to 110, I've gotten an insurance company to pay way beyond what I put in. So understand what you're getting. Like anything, cheapest is not always the worst, and most expensive is not always the best. As well as, cheapest is not always the right thing, and most expensive is not always the wrong thing. It really should be just right. We'll see you next week. Hit the button below if you need to contact me. Thanks.